Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Script Note Show. Hopefully this finds you all out there doing well. It's hard to believe we're into March already, and on some parts of the country, such as here in the Midwest, it feels like it's honestly the end of January with the winter weather that continues to trudge on, it seems like, but according to some reports, it seems like there may be some breaks coming up with some warmer temperatures, so let's hope that can only be the case. But for today's episode, I wanted to cover a recent article that I shared that I found from LinkedIn titled "How to Make Your Weekend More Awesome and Refreshing." So, even though this was posted yesterday, with today being Tuesday, I think it could still be relevant. So what it talked about was how researchers had done a study in which they asked their participants to treat their weekend as more of a vacation rather than just the usual weekend that gets filled with errand running, chores, other odds and ends to do around the house. And the results, not surprisingly, were that participants returned to their workplace that following Monday feeling that much more refreshed. As part of that, Carla Freed, writing for UCLA Anderson Review, said, "When it comes to time off, America is definitely not a world leader. A review of mandated vacation policy in 21 countries with advanced economies by the Center for Economic and Policy Research reports that the United States is the only country that doesn't guarantee workers paid time off, and about 1/4 of U.S. workers don't even receive paid holidays and vacation days." Among the lucky ducks who have paid time off, the workaholic zeitgeist is a strong headwind. According to the U.S. Travel Association, Americans in 2017 on average used 17 of the 23 paid days they were entitled to. Believe it or not, that's actually better than Glassdoor's 2017 survey of 2,000 workers, in which participants reported using barely more than half their vacation days on average. Because of this, the opportunity cost of foregoing time off is consequential. Academic research has found that taking vacations improves our health, boosts job performance, and triggers more creativity. And it also makes us happier. UCLA Anderson's Colin West, Cassie Malganer Holmes, hopefully I said that right, and Sanford E. DeVoe reviewed data from more than 200,000 Americans who participated in the Gallup Daily poll between 2014 and 2016 and found that, controlling for income and days worked, folks who took more vacation days reported being happier. The good vibes were flowing more, the bad vibes were tamped down, and life satisfaction clocked in higher. Despite the payoff of higher workplace and personal vitality, there is no big effort from the business community. All those wellness programs don't necessarily make a big push for taking all of one's vacation days, or public policy to shift us out of our workaholic norms. So, that all being said, West, Holmes, and DeVoe came up with another idea that might help for the lack of, quote, true vacation. The idea being, instead, try framing your weekend as more of a vacation. In 2 studies that were reported within a working paper, they discovered that when the participants were urged to treat their weekend as a vacation, they returned to work on Monday happier than the control group that spent their weekend going about the same as usual. Of course, that being said, it wasn't for the lack of doing chores or other errand running. It all came down to mindfulness and being present in whatever it was that they were doing. So for more about the results, be sure to check out the study. We'll link to that in the show notes. And, of course, many of you might even already do this. I just found it as an intriguing method that, might help others out there who find themselves frequently running into, gosh, it's Monday already, or having a case of the Mondays, and perhaps be able to have a better week go forward. So I'm curious, do you guys out there frame your weekends in this manner? Definitely feel free to leave a voice message if you're listening in on the Anchor app, or send an email to matt@script-notes.com, or check out the website and fill out the comment form on there. I just thought it was kind of interesting because I know for me personally, a lot of times I feel like the weekend is kind of always seems to be doing things that we don't ever have time to, quote, do during the week, although I'm sure, sometimes if we rearranged our priorities a bit, perhaps we could get more of those items accomplished, but perhaps instead focusing more on, hey, when Saturday's coming up, that's my actual vacation, and then all of a sudden maybe Monday won't be quite as bad. So just wanted to share that. I thought it was kind of an interesting article as far as maybe kind of rethinking how we think of our weekends, and just curious as to what you all out there listening happen to think of it as well. So with that, I would like to take a quick break and thank our sponsor for today. Welcome back. So for this segment, I just wanted to kind of take a moment to talk about one of the things that's come about in the finance and personal finance world lately, and that's the FIRE movement, the acronym being, I believe, Financially Independent and Retiring Early. A lot more mainstream coverage has kind of come about on this topic, and I'll be sure to link to those in the show notes as well. But the basic concept is, with the FIRE movement, is you save a large amount in your 20s and 30s with the hope to go ahead and retire as soon as even early as in your 40s. There's even been some books published about that as on this new take on personal finance and acclimation of wealth. And so I was just kind of curious that if you're have had any chance to partake in this yourself, or do you have any strategies that you might like to share? Just kind of wanted to make this more of a community-based and community-involved segment. Have you even been able to retire earlier than the typical late 50s, early 60s? And was just curious what your take was. A lot of critics say that you might need larger amounts now to be able to retire than what you might be expecting, because some critics have said you might need $5 million in your 401k to retire on. Some say it's not even that you only need $1 million to be able to live comfortably the rest of your life. So just wanted to see what everyone's take was on this. And so with that, I believe that should wrap up this week's episode. And certainly, if you like what you hear, please be sure to review the show on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the main ways we can get ranking and get our name heard out there. It really helps support the show. And with that, you can also subscribe for free on your favorite platform as well. Share the show with friends, family members, colleagues on social media. And is there any topics you'd like to even hear more about in personal finance, or deals on items, other ways you can save time and money in everyday life, other current events or topics you might like to hear about? I've got some ideas coming down the woodwork, but one of the great things I like about this podcast is being able to get involvement from others. So would definitely appreciate you're taking the time to rate and review us. We appreciate it as always. The show continues to expand listenership-wise, so thank you to those out there who continue to listen and download the show and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, and we continue to look forward to bringing you even more content as the year goes on. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you again soon. See ya.